dating red flag.
Is it being on the DL?
You're on the right track.
It's so crazy. I was gonna say men.
Strike one. You're a man.
Yeah.
And you're heterosexual.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so technically, because my mind was already there, I don't think I deserve to eat a wing.
I think you do, friend.
Okay. Yeah, what we think?
I mean, do you, Queen? But do you? I mean, I'm not a fan of it because and mind you, like I'm about to say this as someone who understands the damage that men have done in the ecosystem of dating. Like I said it last week, men fucking up the ecosystem, said it plenty of times. But it just kind of gets to a point where it does become disheartening when you hear like women talk about just men like that, or like especially like black women like talk about like they just hate you just because you are a man and just for existing in general when they don't know anything about you. Period. And then like because like I'll be hearing like, you know, some discourse, mind you, like this is a lot of internet discourse. It's like, oh my God. I just wish I just wasn't attracted to men. My biggest problem is I'm straight and I'm attracted to men. Oh, woe is me. It's like, okay, what are you supposed to, as a man? As a man, that
what's the response there?
Well, yeah, what are you supposed to do with that? And then like you kind of wonder like why you can't get in a relationship, maintain one. Like I don't know.
Yeah, look, I mean, okay, so. Because I think my impulse is to just be like, this is a little jokey joke that's not meant to be taken, or that can be taken as not super duper literal. You know what I mean? Like when people say "fuck white people" kind of thing, it's like, yeah, you mean fuck white people, but you don't mean like fuck that one homeboy from college. You know what I mean? Y'all are cool, but fuck white people. When people say that kind of thing, I don't. That's how I'm kind of taking it. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, cool, straight. Oh my God, it's kind of like. It's almost I hate my wife humor, where it's like, yeah, we get it. Okay. Dating sucks. In general, dating sucks. So that's who you date. Cool. And then I also maybe give a little bit of leeway because it's like, if your criticism is like, there are some consistent behaviors that I've experienced from men, specifically straight men, as a queer black woman dating, cool. I think that's maybe fair to then have a joke like, hey, I've had a lot of bad experiences patterned along this, like this identity. Now, I guess where I start to lean in your direction is I don't know how productive that is. And there's a point that I always make, which is that like, okay, cool, but you're not going to stop fucking straight men. Now, maybe not like if you do say that, if you go, look, as a queer woman who's dating, I'm never going to date a guy who's not also queer because it's just going to be too much work to get on the same program. And I don't feel like educating a person. I want to be able to be safe without doing labor at the onset of a relationship. That's a fine decision. But if you're not going to do that, then how productive is it to say that the entire category of people that you're dating is just a red flag from the beginning?
Right.
That doesn't seem productive. What would be productive is changeable behaviors and go like, when I see this behavior, that means this. Here's how straight men, for instance, can do better. All of that said, back to my initial point, it's like, I don't know how serious it is. So it's just like, I think that's maybe too big of an expectation. It's just some dating sucks type shit to say while eating chicken wings is how I'm interpreting it. But does it land more like in a larger context for you? Does it feel like, damn, again, like you're not going to give me a break kind of vibes?
I mean, cause it's like a feeling of being conflicted because again, I actually really agree. You brought up really great points just then. With like, it might be that's more tongue in cheek. And then also, as a queer person, I have had like a string and pattern of negative experiences with straight men, and I totally get that. And I can totally empathize with that. So like on a larger level, yeah, I can empathize and sympathize with that. It's just when it starts to come down like on an individual basis, that's where I'm just like, it's like, all right, okay, cool. Like Alvin says, always be plugging. You know what I'm saying? If you have not, you know what I'm saying, cop that good old Patreon or like join in for the live. You know
should we do a proper podcast intro, by the way? Because we don't even know where this motherfucker is. Where is he in the world? Where is Carmen Sandy Borum, you know?
Big facts. It's on you.
Oh, damn, you're right. My fault. I forgot whose podcast it was at the time. Welcome everybody to Away from the Red Flag. It's me, Eddie, currently the lead host on this one, and Josh. I'm trying to remember because I think he sent me an email actually of what the fuck he was up to. What the fuck was Alvin up to?
I thought, I mean, wasn't he like curing sick monkeys in the Serengeti or some shit?
I think so. Oh, you know what? He was doing that, but I also heard that he was installing a quick draw gun safe in his bathtub because that's the only place in the house that he doesn't have a gun. So he had to get that sorted. You know what I mean? Had to get the contractors in there and all that kind of stuff.
True that. Always be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what the Boy Scouts always taught me.
Hell yeah. Shoot, he got a gun under the toilet.
I mean, yeah, he got one in the toilet. Yeah. You never. The ops are not going to let you get dressed. You know what I'm saying? No. You got to have it on you at all times. That's why God gave us that, that skin pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
That bolster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
the human flap.
That's what it's for. Quick draw. Shit. Fuck them up.
Pop a op real quick.
Out my ass and on your ass. Shit.
All right, this nigga is on a roll. just keep on coming.
All right.
I know you got another one in you.
No, I know. I'm done. I'm gonna think of one in half an hour. Just blurt it out.
Right.
Zing. So, you were saying at an individual level something.
Yeah. And on an individual level, like you do kind of feel it, like especially like for me, for instance, because I do feel like I'm like starting to like be impacted by that sentiment of just women, some women hating men, straight men, or like men that just present themselves as straight or heterosexual. And it's weird because it's like, damn, like I don't be fucking with nobody. Like I'm not one of these niggas that's actively fucking up the ecosystem, but already starting out being a black man in this country, and now you start to feel like the effects of, I guess, like, cause and effect again, because like on a level I can understand it, but it's just a weird situation to be in when being a black man, you feel like you're kind of starting out like, on the back foot, and then like we get into this era where black women hate men just for existing. And like I was saying a little bit before, like, I got a neighbor on my hall in my apartment. Like, I have never spoken to this woman before, done anything to her. I don't know her from Adam and Eve. But anytime we see each other, which is rare, like she actively goes out of her way to like avoid any sort of interaction like with me, period. And it's like, and the way that I'm perceiving it is like she perceives me as a threat.
Immediately.
Immediately. I'm like, I don't be bothering nobody. I don't even think I look like that type of person that harasses women or like whatever. But
like an upstanding citizen to me.
Look like,
it could be anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, really good. So, but it's just such a weird thing, and it can fuck with you a little bit after a while of after so many times of it happening, or you experiencing this. Especially like when you be trying to champion women and like, what I'm saying? Like, hey, my brother, that's not cool. Like, what I'm saying? Why you gotta call him a bitch? Like when you be like having conversations, like, productive conversations with other men, trying to get them to do better. But, it's just kind of, it's just a weird space to be in.
Okay. So what do you feel in terms of like, okay, so, that all of that, I can understand that headspace. I'm wondering if this might be a useful question. If we were just making like an identity politics kind of analogy, how do you feel you engage with, let's say, for instance, white people? If we were to assume white people are like dangerous to black people in certain circumstances, and you maybe move with a certain reservation before you move into a space of trust. That might not be true for you, but I'm just,
not really,
maybe there's another example that works better. But
I mean, it wouldn't be that. How do you
okay.
It wouldn't be that one because I mean, I move the same around anybody. I'm not fearful of white people. And
Are there
unless like certain situations where it's like way too many, it's like a whole bunch of Confederate flags. But remember, I used to sell fucking AT&T versus door to door, baby, and like I was in like the deep country with like, well, you know, I've met racist people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
My
but I
condolences.
don't. But I've also had like the opposite experience too. So I know just because like you're white doesn't make you like a terrible evil person. Like now I know that might not be a popular opinion amongst some black people, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
how could you say that?
I know, right? I can't believe this motherfucker trying to defend it. But like people are,
you know, all those skin folk are sin folk.
I
it's
know,
known.
right? Yeah, but you know, people are people, man, because people can suck. Like, period. Like that's one thing I've learned. Like when meeting like so many people from different ethnicities and backgrounds, is people is just people. Everybody ain't cool, and some people are really fucking cool. But so maybe there's another example.
I guess then the question would just be like, do you ever because then maybe that almost makes a point in this of itself, because I'm like, what are people to do? And I don't mean you, I mean the person on the other side of this conversation. And it's like, it's kind of hard to maybe put yourself in their shoes. But if you were in a situation where you're trying to look out for your safety, what is the way that you should treat the group who you're unsure of whether or not they're safe in a given situation? And maybe there is a better answer to that than just like kind of active vitriol that maybe you're kind of feeling. But how do we come to an answer there if you feel like you're never really in that situation? You know what I mean? But maybe you are in some other way.
I don't have an answer to that. To be honest with you, I really don't have an answer to that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I honestly don't have an answer to that.
That's totally fair. Yeah. I just figure it's a question worth asking because I mean, I think that I'm like, I would say I have more answers in that regard because all of what you said, I don't think any of what you said is crazy, and I think those are very valid, like internal, like that. All of that makes sense as a way for a human to respond to a feeling of being seen as threat, as problem, as danger, as monster, like all of that is like a very reasonable way for a person to feel. I think my view is something like, I have no issue with a person being apprehensive, but I think that's because I empathize with it more because I'm a very apprehensive person around people in general. So it's very easy for me to understand, like, cool, we're feeling each other out. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I come from. But I think that there's a difference between like passive distrust and active vitriol. So that's where I kind of fall. But if you're just like, oh yeah, I just don't trust you because you're a man, that don't really bother me too much, depending on what it looks like. Because I don't trust you either, lady. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, you literally could rob me and take my organs. I understand. We're on the same page.
Yeah, it's actually like that better, honestly.
Yeah.
We don't trust each other. Good.
Yeah, keep our distance. You know what I'm saying? Bulletproof glass between the both of us. We're safe. I'm fine.
Yeah, and I mean, it's because, and I mean, like, while having this conversation, of course, we are having this conversation from the perspective of two heterosexual guys, but from I guess like the cause standpoint, women go through a lot and have experienced a shit ton of negativity from dealing with heterosexual men. So it's like, oh man, I hate it. I hate that for them. And I hate that, like the ecosystem is just like that. And I mean, hell, like I'll be thinking like we've gotten like a lot more progressive. But like when you see like people talk on the internet, like the shit they be saying, especially like with and then like hell with the election, like with with straight heterosexual men like actively hating the LGBTQ community. It's like, damn. So it's like, yeah, I get it, but when it starts to affect you, it's a little different.
And that's I can't say that's not valid.
But still, it still's like, damn, but you feel like you're hated just for existing and you're paying for the crimes of somebody else that you didn't commit. But it's like, if you've gone through deep trauma from dealing with men, how do you know that this is a man that's not gonna fuck with you or don't want nothing from you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't.
Because it's that Muhammad Ali shit. it's a gang of snakes coming to you, and you got a door that you can close. Are you trying to interview which snakes are the venomous ones, or do you close the door? You close the door. So, and it's a lot easier to have that conversation and figure out which snakes are rattling through the safety of a door than in an open hallway. So
right.
Yeah, but these there's questions, and there's more to be said. But yeah, I think that's that on that one. I mean, I guess speaking in the same.
I actually, so I had an interesting experience last night.
Okay.
And